And you are watching Kerry Goulet. I'm better known as the Gooch. I am starting a new platform. It is called Concussed. It's off the book called Concussed, and it's really important to realize that we've kind of forgotten about concussions through the pandemic. A lot of people are dealing with second impact syndrome. A lot of people are dealing with post-concussion syndrome. People are just dealing with issues from concussions that maybe have been lagging on, and that's why we're going to start this incredible program called Concussed, and I'm really excited to announce that our good people from the Fired Up Network, Terry Rivard and Joe Pishish, has helped me organize us being on their network where we can deliver the message on concussions. The book called Concussed was written in 2010 by myself and Keith Primo. And through this book, it had all the information back then that was relevant to concussions at that time. We're changing it. We're going to add to it. We're going to update it so that you know everything you need to know about concussions and being able to pass that on to your loved ones, people that you know. If people are suffering, we are here as a non-judgmental opportunity for people to get better. And you can get better. It's just you need the proper advice. And that's why I'm really excited to have my co-host who's going to drop by every couple of weeks, Scott Holler from the Shift Concussion Management. He is the #1 expert in dealing with the diagnosis and management of the injury. So important to get it properly diagnosed. And then most importantly, getting it managed properly. And we know at Shift Concussion Management Group, they'll be doing that. Hey, we'll have guests like Chris Nowinski, obviously from CTE. What he's done with that is great. Tim Fleischer also with their organization done a great job. Dr. Robert Cantu, we're hoping to get on. And of course, we'll be dealing with around the world. David Dale will be joining us, and that's fantastic. He'll be from Germany. Chris Hyde, as I mentioned, under the bucket, he'll be part of the mental coach, helping us through once you've sustained a concussion, after you've been properly diagnosed and managed. We then need to work on a lot of things that a lot of people don't know about it. This one's really a Robert Wine story. When I first met him and he met myself and Keith Primo, you can see by Robert's injuries that he is disabled. Whereas he looked at us when we told him about our experiences with concussions, he suffered them obviously at a higher level with a traumatic brain injury. And as you know, concussions is only a sexy word for a brain injury. We think it's a sport injury. It's not. You can fall down a set of steps. You can fall off a swing set. You can fall off a bike. You could get run over by a bike, just like what happened to Robert. It's an invisible injury. You can't see the scars. You can't see what's inside. The only person that can help you through this is you opening up and helping us help you to make sure we understand what you're going through. You are not alone. I know we're going through a pandemic and it seems we're isolated, and we are alone. When it comes to concussions, you are not. The book Concussed was developed. It's a sports-related head injuries and activities that are not sports related. It's going to deal with prevention, coping, and tell you real stories. We'll have people like Robert Wine, Paul Rosen, and several others come on and talk about their experiences through the hard times, the dark times of concussions. What's really important to understand is we are going to bring you experts from around the world. We'll have Dr. Michael Bookland out of Sydney. Rob, we've got other people that are going to be involved. Obviously, Natalie Perkins out of Sydney also. She is a manager of concussions. She does an amazing job. We've got people in the States, people in Germany, and of course around the world that are going to join us on Concussed. And it's all been made possible because of the great work of Terry Rivard and of course Fired Up Network. You'll see us on the Fired Up Network. We're going to be working with them. They're going to spread us across the world. I think it's on 100 different podcasts. You're obviously going to see it on Gooch Live Productions, our Facebook and YouTube. You'll see it on Gooch Live, obviously, Connected Mental Health, both on the Facebook and YouTube. And of course, we're going to Twitch and tweet and TikTok all the way along as we educate everybody on the cause, effect, consequences, and management of concussions. Listen, I am classified as a non-medical expert. I am not a doctor, but what I am is I'm compassionate. I've lived it, and as so many athletes have lived it, and people that are not athletes have come to us and talked about what they're dealing with on a daily basis. So I will find you all the answers. I will guarantee you that we will help make you better. We will get you on the right path. That's what Concussed is all about. It's understanding the invisible injury. How many times have you seen somebody that's concussed, kind of dazed and walking off, whether it be on the field or they were in a car accident? The first initial reactions are, obviously confusion. Once they get properly diagnosed, it takes a while. Some people say it takes 10 days. Some people says it takes 2 weeks. Some people say it takes years. That's true. We don't have all the answers, but we will find as many answers as we can right here on Concussed, understanding the invisible injury. Listen, it'll feature a lot of experts. Right off the bat, next week we start with Scott Holler from the Concussion Management Group. Of course, Shift is one of the best. So we want you to make sure if you or a loved one or one of your players, if you're a coach, if you're a parent, if you're an administrator and you want to know more, we'll give you more. Stop Concussions is behind this great initiative, as well as Connected to Mental Health platform that we run. As we know, concussions create a lot of mental stress on people, and we're going to make sure that we give you the proper answers. We'll have Robert Morris. He deals with the psychotherapy on injuries and, of course, mental health. Chuck Basti will be, who's handling our mental health Mondays. He'll be here to talk about his concussions and how he got himself through it. It's not always getting the proper doctors. It's sometimes what you can do to help yourself. And we are here to help you help yourself. And if you're not able to help yourself, we'll make sure we find the proper people. So I am so excited to have you a part of this journey. It is a journey. I've lived it. I lived a long journey. You'll hear the story. I'll tell you how I got through it. And it's been all because of you that's helped me through my experiences. The therapy that I get to help you walk through your journey and your issues will help me along the way. And of course, the most important part is we've got people like Sam Trapolino, who's joining in right now, all the way from Adelaide. He is shoring up our Stop Concussions Australia. We've got Stop Concussions New Zealand. We have Stop Concussions Germany. We have Stop Concussion Scandinavia, where we deal with a bunch of professionals over there. We've got the world covered. So please make sure you check out, as of next week, Tuesday, 7 o'clock, Concussed, Understanding the Invisible Injury will be there. Hey, listen, a point from Sam Trapolino. That's the hardest part for coaches and organizations. They want to know the number of days their player will miss. Every concussion is different. Thank you for sharing that. That's so important to understand. There are so many misguided messages. There are so many myths. I'm going to clear that all up for you. I'm going to make sure there is no confusion when it comes to concussion. I will give you the hard facts. I will give you the hard answers. I will get you the right people to make sure you understand how we can help you. There's no cost. This is all free. It's all brought to you by the Gooch Live Production Group. I got a great team behind me. Jordan LaRoche is the producer of the show. Obviously, the Fired Up Network with Joe and Terry. They're going to do a bang-up job. We are going to turn every stone until we find a way to help you or your loved ones through it. There are no guarantees in life, but one of the guarantees I'm going to make is we won't stop until we find a way to help. Now, the most important things to understand is that when you deal with concussions, some of them say it's a mild. There's nothing mild about this. Each concussion is different. Your first concussion, your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth are all different. All the symptoms can be different. There are over 21 symptoms that deal with, obviously, dizziness, vomiting, your equilibrium's off. There's so many things that you can develop through a concussion. It could be all of them or it could be one of them. And so we will bring you that information. I'm going to just tell you right here what we're going to be dealing with, okay? The book obviously deals with the complexity of the brain. We'll explain the brain to you. We will have neurologists on this show to kind of understand how the brain ticks. We are going to deal with diagnosing a concussion. We'll talk about testing for concussions. Of course, all of the important things, the types of concussion tests you can take. Concussion management, excuse me, very important. Obviously, Scott will be a big part of that, and he'll make sure we truly understand how to manage a concussion. But before we manage it, we have to diagnose it properly and get you the proper management protocols that are required. Getting back to the normal swing. You know, when is it right to return to play? When is it right to go back to school? When is it right to be ready to live an active life again? We'll have those answers for you. Possibly long-term effects. Yes, there are long-term effects that sometimes come along with it. It's called post-concussion syndrome. Second impact syndrome. What does it mean? Why is it there? We'll deal with that on a specific show. Then we'll have personal stories from around the world. Keith Primo, very well documented. Eric Lindros, of course, we know that's a very well documented story. So we will be here with you all along the way. It is a four-pillared system: education, management, prevention, and research. That's what Stop Concussion is about, and that's what the book Concussed will teach you. We will have an online version of Concussed for you as you enter into our family of concussions. Please, please don't be worried. Do not hesitate. Comments on the right-hand side at all times. I will have my email address up there at all times. I will have my telephone number. It's 24/7. You deal with a concussion around the world, you call my number. If I'm not up, of course, I will get to you first thing in the morning. I will return every single call. Because you know what's important is, once you've lived it, once you've lived through it, what I've lived through, and what so many of hundreds of thousands of people in this world live with on a daily basis, take away, obviously, the pandemic and all the stresses that come with life, add a brain injury to that. You play a sport for all those numbers of years and you're done and you have to get a job, but you've damaged your brain. How do we expect athletes not to deal with the mental health issues that come along with it? Cam Stewart just wrote an incredible article about his dealing with concussions and depression. We will talk to him about his journey and how he can help us understand and better manage the injury. All right, listen, Dana, thank you very much. We can't wait either. We will be starting next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Scott Holler from Shift Concussion Management will be with me. If you want, you can email me. I'm going to type it up. You give me 1 second. If you have a question right now that you would like to send and get Scott to answer, I apologize. My producer tonight had his second shot for COVID and is a bit under the weather, and he will be back with me next week. There is my email address. Here is my telephone number. I'm available 24/7. Words are cheap, but anybody that knows me, I don't sleep much. Those are the numbers. I'm going to show you the number. There's my email address, goulet29@stopconcussions.com. Write it down. You may need it. If you need it now, send me an email. I'll answer any questions, and I'll get Scott Holler and our great professionals, Dr. Michael Brooklyn, whom I've mentioned earlier. Dr. Bill in, obviously, Brisbane. He is a phenomenal advisory to our board who will help us make sure we get the answers if you're in Australia. Obviously, Natalie Perkins is there, and of course, Dr. Michael Brooklyn. We also have Doug King in New Zealand, an incredible on our advisory board. He is the guy you need to speak to if you're suffering at any time with concussions. Here's my telephone number. It's open. It's right here. I feel like I'm doing a Jerry Lewis telethon. This telephone will take a call from you or your loved ones if you're dealing with concussions. I started this well over 10 years ago. I've lived it since I was 30. I'm now 62. I've gone through the dark side and I'm through. I want to make sure that you do not be alone under these strenuous circumstances. A lot of people give a lot of answers. I'm not here to sell you anything. There's no sales job here. This is solely helping you. We want to help you. That's my mission. That's why I do all the things we do of traveling around the world and opening the eyes of people. Some people don't want to. A lot of parents go like this and just walk away and say, no, it hasn't happened to us. But when it does happen, you need to know where to go, who to talk to, and who's going to put you on the right way of recovery. And that's what I promise you from our show, Concussed, Understanding the Invisible Injury. I want to thank Robert Wine for being an inspiration to it all, for helping me open up and talk about my own journey so that I can help you through yours. All right, listen, let's get the facts. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, August the 10th. August the 10th, I will be live on this program along with Fired Up Network with Terry and, of course, Joe. Jordan LaRoche will be producing the show. Scott Holler will be right with me on screen talking everything concussions. Anything you need to know, I will be there to answer to you. Anything we don't know, we will certainly get to you and make sure that we get you the proper, whether you live in Adelaide, New Zealand, obviously Adelaide's not New Zealand, that's my concussions, Australia, Auckland, New Zealand, or you live in Hanover, Germany, we are here for you. Stop Concussions DA, which is our foundation, a German foundation. We have great people over there like David Dale helping us make sure that if you suffer a concussion, we are there for you. Concussions know no boundaries, no language, no age, no activity, no skill level. They don't care if you're rich or poor, male or female. They're only there to help you. All right. Look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. It'll be a 1-hour show, and we will give you the most up-to-date understanding of concussions, the diagnosis of a concussion, the understanding of the management of the concussion, and all that darkness that goes in between it. We will put the light in the end of the tunnel for you if you're suffering or one of your loved ones. All right, I'm Kerry Goulet. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next Tuesday right here on Concussed. Understanding the Invisible Injury. Don't forget, brought to you by those good people at Fired Up Network and the Hockey News. Good night.